Welcome back to the Forum by Voltage, where the talk will shock. And I am always joined by Robert Lee, Michael Author, and the best friend I've ever had. Sorry. That's just joking. Yeah. No, but you've been my friend for a long time. We've met in seventh grade, and we've been in love ever since. And but I would say that there's
Been in lust
I've
ever
never,
since.
100%. This smile is what makes my day.
Oh,
But what I want to say is that
it's
smile,
not June anymore.
that smile has never led me astray, though. I'll say that has never led me astray. I don't think there's ever been a point to where you desired me to go deeper into things that, let's say, you were doing, right? Like, let's say there were things that you were doing that you're just like, hey, dude, do you want to try this out? Like,
You want to start winking and
you
tanking?
want to you want to start taking some young college freshmen from behind, and I'm like, oh no, I'm good. But no, I think that I can't name a time, at least to my memory, and if I'm wrong, correct me. But I cannot remember a time where you told me, like, dude, stop being like, don't be a loser, like trying to encourage me otherwise about a statement that I've made, whether it was like, I don't drink, or I don't, I'm not gonna go there, like I don't want to do that, like that's never even been like a conversation between us, and I think that unfortunately, a lot of people suffer from their circle just breaking everything that they're like, maybe that they believe in, maybe that they themselves are like, oh, whoa, like everybody else is doing it. Like, I just want them to still want to hang with me. Right.
And I feel like it's good. A lot of people just going through the motions. What happens with that? Like, friends come along in any part of life. For most of us, we meet a lot of friends. Like you said, we met back in grade school. A lot of people develop their friendships in grade school. But the difference, about us, whereas with a lot of other relationships that develop at such a young age, is that a lot of people find themselves going through these motions of, okay, so now we're in high school. So we're in high school now. Some people lose their virginity. So, Myron, let's go and lose our virginities. Yeah, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people that do that. So you find that even when you get to the high school realm, and then you go to further education, and then relationships start spreading because people start getting attached to different opportunities and different types of realms and surroundings and other people. And you might try to pull, like you said, now when I was in college in San Bernardino, I was getting my get on, you know what I mean? I had a whole kid out there, you know what I mean? And I never, you didn't have a kid until you got married, and we were still friends throughout that time. You knew my daughter when she was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And I never encouraged
you for that decision?
Not at all. So that's that's how it works on both sides, which I, definitely enjoy, which is what I'm saying that a lot of people don't have. They have the judgment of what they're doing and even sometimes what they're not choosing to do. And for me, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to understand, but our relationship is a perfect example because you've never touched a drink. I've touched drinks.
To this day.
And I will still touch drinks to this day. If you handed me a drink on this set, I may take a few sips while we're doing the show, You've never smoked. I've smoked in college, I smoke, whenever I want to smoke, you know what I mean? There's things that I do, I may curse, I may slip little things that other people may not like. There are things that I do, but at the end of the day, just like God weighs and he pays attentions to the motives and the intent of the heart. That's exactly what you've done as a friend, is you've paid attention to the intentions and the motives of the heart. So the outward behaviors, if you will, although they may have been different, or may have been some that, other people don't do, or some that you don't like. It's never been a judgment thing because you've always understood the intent and the motive of the heart.
And where other friends don't have, especially at such a young, tender age of like, what were we, like 11?
Yeah.
Like 11? At a tender age of 11, is that whether we knew it or not, subconsciously we knew that we had grace because we also met understanding that, wait, we're both Christian. You showed me Fred Hammond, riding in your grandma's car.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, hold on. I've heard some white gospel and I've heard some Mexican gospel, but I ain't never heard
this
gospel. Like, what is this? You're like, dude, this is Fred Hammond. How you gonna say
put
that you
you
listen to
on.
Christian music and you don't know Fred Hammond? And to that day, I was hooked.
Yes.
On my PSP, the next day was
He Lives.
He Lives.
Yeah.
He Lives. Yes, dude.
Yeah, that was. Oh, sorry. that was such a good song.
Great song.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's so good. I was almost gonna start singing it.
Yeah, such a good song. But yeah, a lot of
okay, I did.
But yeah, a lot of people, they don't have that, and it sucks, I mean, the Bible talks about, how important it is to be equally yoked, and I'm not saying like, oh, if one person's a cheating husband, go get yourself equally yoked with another cheating husband, so you guys can cheat more.
So at least you got a boy with you when you're out there riding.
Absolutely, you know what I mean? Nothing more at all. And it's honestly the way I look at it. I'm not the only Christian I know or believer that I knew, even if as we were growing up that we experienced, we knew so many other
100%.
believers that partied and clubbed and drank and did whatever they did. And
or were completely clean nose.
Correct.
Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and to this day, there's people that I know that still partake, but still have an understanding and a foundation of that word. And my judgment just doesn't really go there for them because, I mean, for me, the way I look at it is that, is it corrupting your character? And is it corrupting your character to the point where you are causing other people's character to be corrupted in the gospel? Because we go back to that scripture where it talks about everything being permissible, but not everything being beneficial. So that's when I focus to the benefit of it. Now, there's two types of people. There's people that I do see that may enjoy a glass of red wine with their steak and potatoes at dinner after a long day of work. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but there's also people that I see that are hanging outside of the liquor store with 240s in their hands and they have no roof over their head. So it's like, that's the part where I say that you may have taken the less beneficial path. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They have a roof over their head with a 401k and a great job. Heck yeah, they want a glass of red wine with their steak and potatoes at dinner. You know what I mean? So that's where I really put that focus on is, where's the benefit going? Is it beneficial to you?
And is somebody actually having the best intentions for your life?
Correct.
Or are they just of one of two things? Are they just tolerating you? Or are you entertainment to them? You've never been entertainment to me. And I've never had the idea to where, you know what? Oh, man, Robert, man, he's so lost. I don't know if I could be around him, because it's and then I'd have to look at myself and be like, well, there's things that people shouldn't be around me for. Like how you said, are you being a stumbling block for somebody? You were never a stumbling block to me, and I would certainly hope I've never been one to you.
No, not at all, yeah.
And even in times where maybe, you were up, I was down, or I was up and you were down, it's I always felt that there was a level of encouragement. I always felt that there was a level of well, he would hear me if I told him, I'm like, dude, no, that's too far. That's enough. That. This has become a problem.
Yep.
And I believe you would hear it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the thing that kind of separates us as as I look around, even the other friends that I have, I'm just this is an anomaly to a lot of people. This is strange. This is weird, right? Even and even to some of the people that I'm closest to, they're just wait, you, Rob, but he, and you, and then he, and I'm just but yeah, you don't get it. You don't, because you don't have a friend like that. You don't, and it's unfortunate, and it sucks. Is I look at life. And I think life would have been a lot lonelier without you, And I look at life and I look around and I'm just that sucks that person doesn't have somebody.
Doesn't have somebody
they could just they could call in the middle of the night just to say, hey, dude, can you pray for you? Or just to call in the middle of the night and to be hey, not that I'm going to be blowing you up.
Yeah, no, I get you.
We don't often do that. We do it within reasonable
when we
hours.
have to. Yeah.
When we have to. But you know what I'm saying? It's something that I see people struggle with is that with the most is that their friends aren't speaking to them. They're not really speaking to them. They're hanging out there. They're being entertained by them. That they're, or that the other way around, they're influencing them in a way to where there's no, well, you have to kind of conform to me, to the way I'm living my life. And like you said yourself in San Bernardino, did I conform to the way you were living your life? Did that make us any more distant as people? No. Were we not able to relate to each other? No.
We just knew time and place.
Time and place. time and place. And there was even times where like we maybe not have been had the opportunity to like maybe even speak to each other.
Correct.
And it's not because you weren't speaking to me, I wasn't speaking to you, but it's just like I said, like time and place.
And it was geographical location. You were in college in
location.
Fullerton, and I was in San Bernardino, so we were hours away from each other.
And at the time, communication wasn't really like really what it is now.
Correct.
Like, you know, like we had text messages, like iMessages, like, but nobody was iMessaging the way we iMessage.
Yeah,
now.
it wasn't
like,
really like that. Yeah.
Like it was like maybe I'll send you like a like on Facebook or whatever.
It was more so social media contacting. Like
kind of.
I'm seeing you posting. I'm throwing in your comment section. I'm hitting you a DM. We're sending each other, luring post. You know what I mean? Like
because you know what
any picture we could find with someone in a tennis outfit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's not. I was gonna take this a more wholesome route, and there's just
they were wholesome pictures, all right, Myron.
God,
they were wholesome enough to the point where we had to no longer send them after we jumped the broom, if you will.
Oh my God! After certain annulments, not annulments.
After certain
annulments were made.
We have some questions, Myron. Last week on the pod, you were already committed to a divorce,
no,
and now you're talking about annulments.
Like, I don't remember. You could. I do not recall. But what I now I forgot what I was gonna say. No, but, I just what I'm like the roundabout of what I'm kind of saying is just trying to put us on like kind of open and bare to say that I think that you're almost better off if your friends aren't like this. Like if your friends aren't really the people that you can speak blatantly to. I have friends that aren't in the faith. I'm gonna be honest. I have friends that aren't in the faith. And I speak to them as plainly as I would speak to you about the word. As plainly as I'd speak to you, I tell them, actually, brother, that's wrong. And they're like, oh, but the world says A. I'm like, I know what the world says. I say B. Like a friend of mine was like letting me know that like, hey, like I want to move in with my girlfriend. I'm like, that's incorrect. You need to be married to your wife. You need to be married. That needs to be your wife. And I'm like, because your girlfriend isn't anything. Girlfriend is made up.
Correct.
The only thing that actually is something is your wife. You want to know why? Because it costs money, time, and you got to sign paper. You don't got to sign a paper for a girlfriend. I don't got to make a lasting contract. It will not devastate my estate to have a girlfriend or to separate from a girlfriend. So I'm like, so she needs to be your wife. And and then those friends will either like laugh it off, hear the advice, actually consider the advice, which I'm grateful for. Like that's the best thing I could ask for is that there's people that maybe don't necessarily believe or maybe that they're teetering on like, well,
Correct.
I'm like, there's something up there. I don't know. It's like the best thing that I could do is that just something breaks through those.
And at least you're open to it.
And
that's the thing, like, because it's not about like just being with the friends. That's the thing. Like, I know a lot of, on the bad side, I would say, a lot of believers and Christians, they have like that idea where it's like, if you're not already out the gate equally yoked with me, I'm just out. Well, no, you're cutting off opportunity, like you were talking about, with being disciples, when we were chatting in between sets.
That Kevin didn't record.
You're cutting off that opportunity, when you just shut out relationships. I'm open to go on the journey with you, as we talked about in the last pod. I'll go on that journey with you, but if I know a little bit more, you got to be receptive to the information. If you're just shutting me out, then I realize my wife said something very powerful to me a long time ago when it came to friendships, relationships, as we were getting advanced off into our marriage and realizing that some relationships, some friendships just weren't going to survive, through that. And she told me, she's like, yeah, honestly, this is the way you analyze it. In a relationship, I have to be able to give you something. You have to be able to give me something. If it comes to a point where I can't give you anything because you're not receptive to what I'm saying, the information I have, the knowledge, the wisdom, you're not receptive, or vice versa, you can't give me anything because I'm not receptive, we have nothing here. That there's nothing I can teach you. There's nothing I can learn from you. There's nothing we can exchange. There's no exchange of good. It's done. It's done. But as long as there's something there where what I'm saying, like you said with your friend, the things that I'm saying, they're not going in one ear, out the other, I still at least serve a purpose here. I may not be getting anything from you, and that happens sometimes in life, but at least what I'm giving is being received. There's at least purpose there. We're no longer in the age and the time where this was back in 2006 and 2007 where we could just be friends for friends' sake and play soccer with a freaking milk carton, on concrete just because we were just so happy to be here at school. Like, friendships aren't that way anymore. There really has to be some sort of value that is being exchanged amongst those people.
And especially with so many lines are being divided in the sand, right? Like, we're lucky because we already had kind of like a base layer, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already, even though we took two different directions, kind of rounded about, ended up kind of the same place. But
Correct.
but initially in our young lives, like especially right after high school, took varying directions, branched off, doing different things. But we already had a baseline, a foundation of like, you're a person who was raised in a faith. I was a person who was raised in a similar faith. You're a person who has similar music taste as me. I'm a person who has similar music taste. Like there's a lot of, like how you said, like kind of being friends for friends' sakes. There was already kind of a lot of things that kind of just stacked up that if anything, that honestly, if anything ever happens, it's like there's already kind of a lot in the
There's
base
so
layer.
much there.
There's so much in the base layer. A lot of people don't really have that. You know, like for example, let's say you make a friend at work. Like once you quit that job, you kind of stop having that friend sometimes because it's like all you really had was you guys just moaned and groaned about that job.
Yeah, we worked at the job so we can throw little one-liners, funny jokes here throughout the day because we can relate to on-job scenarios.
And it's not going to last further past,
No.
Actually, we've stopped having new experiences at that job because we no longer work there. So we can no longer have this conversation.
And for people that struggle having relationships in just the normal world outside of the job, the reason why that's a hard factor, why people just don't have those foundations is because there's not a lot of people that are original. There's not a lot of originality because of the media and because you have on the women's side, I don't know if it's still the Kardashians or, one point in time it was Nicki Minaj and all those people. There's so many things of people to look up to that all the women and then all the men and all these people, they're just becoming multiple different facets of just one person. So when you talk to a person, it's like, dude, you're not even giving me an original thought. I don't even really know what to connect with you because there's nothing that you have of your own. You know what I mean? What are you interested in? Not what the world's telling you to be interested in or what's trending right now, so you're hopping on the bandwagon. No, deeply, what are you interested in? You know what I mean? Like,
don't be like a clone of what you're intaking.
Yes.
And I think that was kind of the benefit of like when we kind of became friends is because it's like there wasn't a lot to intake. Like unless you read a book, unless you, I guess, were really, really on the internet, like.
Because it wasn't that big of a deal back in the day.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Internet. MySpace was still heavy.
MySpace was still like, the most you thought about was like, what's my profile music? Like, what song do you hear when you go to my profile? Like, but even,
MySpace was such a good time.
Dude, must
like I knew at the time Facebook made it seem like, ooh, way better. But honestly, when Facebook got rid of that little like poking, when poking was no longer a deal, because let me tell you,
dude,
I poked some people back in the day.
Because poking led to poking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you that right now. I can't tell you
got you poked.
How many times poking led
to poking. It was just social media used to be such a fun.
You know what it led to? It led to like, you just gonna leave without giving me a hug?
It was one of those. Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
I don't get a hug.
Oh, I don't. There it is.
Yeah.
I don't get a hug. Kevin was one of those. I don't get it. Like he was one of the Kick Messenger.
Ask.fm.
Jeez. Oh my. Whisper.
We're going back. Whisper. Oh, the Dub, formerly known as the Dub.
Formerly known as the Dub. Nick.
Yeah.
Nick Black.
Shout out to Nick Black
at 235.
The king of the Dub.
The king of the
If
Dub.
anyone had some whispering to do, it was that guy.
It was Nicholas K.
Oh
Black.
my goodness.
Yeah. Oh my.
Speaking of which,
he took that from even off like right before you get to that. But it's like before there was Tinder, there was Nick Black.
Oh, there was Nick Black.
There was Nick Black.
I feel that dude needs to create his own. His own app.
His own app.
I don't know what we should call it. Like
I don't know.
Slick something.
Because
he's Slick Nick.
He's Slick Nick.
So it's like Slick. I don't know. Like
Slick. I don't know. Slick
slide
covers.
in Slick. I don't know. Slick slide.
Slick under the covers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Silk and smooth.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah,
it's just a cursive letter.
Yeah, like a cursive S for silk.
For silk. And the only man's profile is his.
Yeah. Only is, so you can only match with him.
And then when you set up your profile as a woman, he could disqualify your profile. He's like, nah, I don't want you on here.
You don't get a profile. Yeah.
Like,
I'll never make you one of my options. That's funny, man. But honestly, the Dove, all those things, poking, Facebook, MySpace was such a good time. You know what I mean? It was when it was simple.
2009 was a great year.
Yes, there wasn't so much pressure and so much, to compare to.
There wasn't so much to do.
Yeah, and not only that, so much to be able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you either knew you were graduating high school, you were going to college, you weren't going to college.
Yeah.
Now, there's so much you can do on the internet. There's so much you can do in the world. There's so many different avenues to become successful. So much room for activities. Yes, I forgot to ask you. Do you like guacamole? Yeah, so much room to do just about anything. And I feel like when there's too many options, well, hello anxiety. Hello being overwhelmed. You know, life just got extremely complex.
Hello building shallow relationships.
Yes.
I think shallow relationship, like a lot of like relationship fatigue today comes from the fact that it's like I had a lot of options. Now all I'm thinking about is all my options.
Yeah.
Even when I'm with somebody, all I'm thinking about is like what could have been A, what could have been B. I'll take a little of column C, a little bit of column D, and you're trying to mix match. Like you're trying to almost build your Frankenstein bride of people, and then that's why people are in such short and shallow relationships. Why they're kind of like, how many people have you dated? It's like, oh, let's not talk about. I have a friend who does not like disclosing his romantic history because of the fact that and you know this individual, and he doesn't like disclosing the romantic history because he feels that it spoils the romanticism. And I'm just like, well, the only reason it would spoil it is because you know it's too many.
Yeah.
Because you know it was too much.
You've done too much.
And I don't even think it was that much. Like, honestly, it's less than me.
What's the number?
6.
6?
Yeah, it's less than me.
Oh, that's not
it's
too
nothing.
Much. He's afraid to share
that's
that.
Rookie league numbers.
I know people who have like
Nick Black. He has double digits.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I know other
78.
I know other people who have been in the 70s. I'm talking people who've been like in the hundreds, and I'm like, I don't know how you get to such level of accomplishment.
I know a girl that's like, well, at the time that I knew her, and she was 22, 41.
Disgusting.
41.
41 years old?
No, 41.
41
bodies at 22. 41 bodies.
That's like that's almost 2 bodies a year since she was 2.
Since she was. Let's just say she's that like that. It's that rave culture, right? Like it's that rave. So between
I blame it on Coachella.
But yeah, it's 100%. Because between 17 and 22, she got to work.
Wow.
She had free tickets every year.
Or more like she got worked.
She got worked. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
She got worked like your dipstick rag. Like. What were we saying? You were going.
We're talking
somewhere.
About friends.
We're supposed to be talking about friends. We're supposed to be talking about friends.
No, but we do the number. We're talking about 70, and we're talking about the app, and we get into.
Well, I guess this kind of goes into friendship as well, because all relationships, every encounter you have is a relationship. Whether it's romantic, whether it's friendship, whether it's marital, whatever the case may be, even a coworker, those are relationships. And to have a more meaningful one, you got to be a little selective.
But in order to be selective, you got to know yourself. That talks about how you're saying with the shallowness. Everyone has these shallow relationships. It's because no one knows who they are.
Yeah. They think they know. They identify with a lot of things, but they don't know who they are. Because guess what? You're one person.
Correct.
You're one thing. Oh, but I identify as pansexual, vegan, poly, we go to the mall. Like, there's
all these things,
There's this sandwich. There's this Rolodex of identities.
Correct. And you just need, you need to
boil that down.
You got to boil it down.
Because
when you're trying to get in a relationship with somebody, you're trying to have friendships, you're trying to find equally yoked people, you're trying to find the right people to be in your circle.
I need you to bring it here.
You got to bring it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I was about an 8. You don't want to see me get to a 10.
See me get to a 10.
Get your shit.
We're going to my room.
Yeah. But shout out Step Brothers. Yes. But we're not Step Brothers. I'm black, if you didn't know.
I mean,
I know we're in California. I'm not just
it's not
tan.
a disqualifier.
He's black too.
Yeah.
But he's afraid of the sun, so he stays
100%.
inside.
I just have a what is it? I have a vitamin. What is it? Vitamin A deficiency or whatever.
Vitamin A deficiency.
Vitamin A deficiency.
I do know someone that has a vitamin A deficiency. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I have like really bad like whatever this skin, because like all my freckles went from my face to my arm.
That's true. I remember.
You know what I've noticed?
You did have freckles on your face.
Crazy freckles,
like
on my
in this area.
100%. Yeah, they're all kind of.
Now you don't have any.
They're all kind of. They're here.
That's cool.
I don't like
Do
it.
they just move?
Yeah, because I look like Linda from like the PTA. You know, like she's just been in the sun too much, but she wears a low cut top.
Yeah,
but it just looks like pepperoni pizza on her collarbone. I don't want that.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's cool.
Maybe
yeah.
I get some topical steroids and just rip my skin off. Anyways, what were you saying?
No, I mean that's pretty much what I had. Like, like people in these shallow relationships, it's just because, like we were saying, just people not knowing who they are. Yes, there's a lot of identity in there, but you got to boil it down because when it just comes to the relationships, you're doing too much. Like, how can I even connect with you? Like you said, we have all these foundation things to connect with. Is because I didn't give you 60 things to choose from. Mm-hmm. He likes 3 Days Grace. He likes alternative rock. He's in band. He likes soccer. All right.
Yeah. He likes women.
He likes women. Seems pretty decent enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's go.
And you get more things along the way.
Yeah, we'll learn more things along the way, but at least the basics, he stood on something and I stood on something. So we both came to like the platform standing on something. So we knew what we could get down with. But people are lying, bro.
Yeah.
It's catfish nation all over the place.
100%.
Whether you're dating or even friendships, people be catfishing.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
Stop the cap. I've been saying that all week.
Yeah.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Speaking of caps, check out our new Voltage
Yes,
forum.
dude.
Where here.
I'm so excited.
We haven't gotten to the point where you can purchase it yet.
Not yet.
But definitely some apparel.
But if
we
we
could probably
hit
get that.
1,000 subscribers, we will give one away for free.
Yeah, we will definitely do that.
If we hit 1,000
we would
subscribers,
definitely do that.
we have to hit 1,000 subscribers. Yeah,
1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but this is excellent. You guys want these hats. These
Yeah,
are
you
sicko
do
hats.
want these.
I love these hats.
They're the legit ones too. They're
Super
not.
legit.
Yeah.
You can't really see too much, but like, this class, this is like me personally, and Rob knows, but like, I can't stop talking about it.
Yeah,
This is the hat you
that's the
want.
hat. Yeah,
this is the daily. This is
sleek. It's
super sleek, super cool. You know, if you're really looking to make a decent friend, you pull up with this hat, they'll be like, dude, I really like your hat. Can we go to your car and I take your pants off?
Okay.
And it's just like, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm not. If these hats were meant to do that, we're gonna be selling these like hotcakes. If all it takes is a voltage, if all of it takes is a voltage hat to get you to get someone in your back seat with pants off.
Dang, we're gonna pay off so many mortgages with these hats.
Student loans.
Joe
Biden, we don't need your forgiveness anymore.
Forgiveness.
We've got voltage form
I was
apparel.
so upset because I'm just like, I've been just deferring my loans for so long. Sorry, IRS.
Same here,
Yeah.
but they don't care.
Yeah, they don't really.
I mean, you can defer them. I know they have like I actually went in there. They do have like a little date where it's like your forbearance is going to end at this time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I figure that once that ends, you just kind of go into forbearance again.
I feel like when that ends, you just kind of like, you're like, hey, I'm out. You jump off the Golden State Bridge. Like, you just do the decent thing.
How much debt do
so
you
that
have
it
in
passes
student
to your
loans?
children. What?
How much do you have in student loans? Like,
So
what's the
thank you
number?
guys
I want to
so
see
much
if
for
you.
watching.
I'm going to tell you my number. I just want to see if you.
Okay,
have
my
more.
number is my number is 8. 8 G's.
$8?
8 G's.
8 G's?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're good.
Yeah,
I'm
I got most of the grants.
I'm like $32,000 in student debt.
Christ. Yeah, the IRS is gonna come for you.
Oh, they're not gonna come for me.
Yeah, they can't find you.
I'm in forbearance. Sometimes I think about going in. I go on the little app thing they have there just to see like what it would be like. I remember years ago they asked. It was like, no, it's not Sally Mae. Mine is through like Moila or something like that. It used to be through.
That's what he's got.
Moila, yeah, I'm through Moila.
That's that Cal State.
Yeah, there you go, Cal State. Yeah, we both went to Cal State. Yeah,
that's that Cal State.
So I have that Moila, yeah. So I went through there, and I remember like years ago they were saying like $600 something a month. I was like, kiss my ass. I went like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I went a couple of that's out.
That's another bill that I have that's $600 a month. I'm already paying.
Yeah, forget. I'm already paying that. And
another government bill.
Yeah. So I went like a couple weeks ago and I saw like it was like $300 something. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're probably not trying to like screw in interest and they could probably change some things, but I'll deal with it when the time comes. But hey, at the end of the day, he only has $8,000, and you guys have heard him talking me up as a friend.
Yeah.
So once we hit, the levels we need to hit here on the
We'll
forum,
pay it off.
He's paying mine.
I'll pay his off. I don't care.
He'll pay mine and
How
his.
many times you're like, dude, shoot me a dub, and I'm just like, the dub has been shot.
Yeah, but this is more than a dub.
This is more than a dub.
This is about like.
But it's a dub in relation.
This is about 2,000 dubs.
It's a dub in relation. Like I look at
Yeah.
Like,
it's a dub in relation.
Like if you got 500 thou in the bank, what's 30?
Yeah, what's 30?
What's
grand?
30?
That's true.
But right now I have 50 in the bank.
50?
50. So I got fit. So like, if you ask me for a dub, I'm like, it might hurt a little bit, but I'll be like, I can handle it. I'm like,
you're now taking 1/3.
yeah,
of
you're not
my
taking
income.
1/3 of my net worth. So just be careful with it. I hope it's for a good cause. 'Cause I'm not gonna ask for it back. So I hope it's for a good cause. But I don't know. I think we struck a lot of good ground on friendship.
I agree.
I mean, just be like us. Like, stop screwing around. Just
Correct.
just be like us. Like,
And just leave the judgments alone, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
and that's what I would say as my last thought. Like, just leave room. Like how we said, there was times where I was probably participating in activity that Myron would never do, and then vice versa. There could have been times. And what we did is that we observed. As friends, we observed. Okay, this is what he's got going on. I can see on Instagram stories, Snapchat, he's out there doing this or doing that. I see what he's got going on. This guy, you will hear us say 4 a.m. throughout the cast plenty of times because we have a little insider 4 a.m. joke, where I caught him at 4 a.m.
The one time
I caught him in the streets.
Yeah.
And it was 4 a.m. I was on my way to work humbly, and he was on his way to put in some work humbly. But yeah, we didn't judge, even in that moment I saw that, but we wait to the times where there were times in my life where I get to Myron and I'm like, dude, and this is before we both got married. There was times where it's like, Myron, like, man, this sucks. Like, I'm sitting in the house. This is what I want. I'm searching for love. I'm searching for something real, but I'm finding my heart broken. And that's where Myron found that, ding, 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 Houston, I got him. Now I can express to him and explain to him why. Dude, it's because you're going to the club 3, 4, 5 times a week and you're just dealing with these just low grade, just surface, just shallow women.
Every third girl's named Jasmine.
Yeah, like you're thinking you're gonna walk one of these people down the aisle. You think you're gonna. It's pretty much you're looking for all the right things in the wrong areas.
Yeah.
And when that came to me, I was able to receive what he said in the right way and come out of those situations. He didn't tell me the whole entire time, like, oh, you need to stop, you need to stop, you need to stop. All that would have done was not want me to be around him. No, it made you want to be around him because he's like, I'm not going to say anything. But eventually, because I know you, like I said, I know your heart. I know you more than just the outer lining. I know your heart. I know your intentions. And since I know you want to be in this, but I'll let you bump your head. But since I am such a good friend, I'm going to be there when you bump your head. But you just got to know, I'm putting it back on you and I'm letting you know, dude, hey, this is why you bumped your head, because this whole time you've been having a little too much fun. You know what I mean? You've been doing this and you've been doing that. And that's kind of what that type of behavior warrants. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
and I feel like, and obviously that's easier. It's easy to say that.
of
It's easy
course.
to say that in the aftermath.
Oh, of course.
It's easy to say in the aftermath, especially when you're like, oh, well, you came out the other end doing better, right? Or doing other things, different things, right? And some people will be like, okay, well, I waited and I waited and I waited, and then they finally hit rock bottom, and I went to go be a friend. And then they found more room to dig. Like I found a shovel.
And they went right back into it, right?
So now you're wondering, you're just like, well, then I'm like, but if that's a good friendship, if that's what you're supposed to do with friendships, it's like, then how come he stopped or I stopped, but my friend didn't? And it's like, well, again, we talked about that foundation, right? We have an obligation. Robert knew that no matter what I tell him and no matter what he tells me, is that it's also going to come from a place that no matter how far away we run, there is a hand that's right next to us that's stretched out, and that's the hand of Christ.
Yes.
So no matter how far we went, how deep we go, it's like he knows, same way that I know, that it's like, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to tell you something because I don't want you to face that wrath.
Yes.
I'm telling you because I'm not going to explicitly tell you, like, dude, you don't want to see what consequences are waiting for you, but I'm going to tell you because I hope that you're in the place where, like I didn't do it before, because would you have received it before? No. Would you have, like I said, would you have wanted to hang out with me? Correct, if I'm just like, dude, like, this is the third time this week. What are you doing? No. Would it have made me feel good just to make you angry at me? No, absolutely not. But when it came to a decision time, like I said in my last pod, the only difference between a saint and a sinner is one choice. Yeah. And I said, look, dude, you got one choice. Yeah. You got to decide who's master you're serving. I may have said it in a roundabout way, but I'm just like, you got to make a decision. You're like, but I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm just like, all these things are going to be added onto you, but you're not making that choice.
Yeah.
But you're not making that choice.
Can't find the wife in the club. Sure, you can go from the pulpit to the party, and you can go from gossiping to, you know what I mean, to the gospel.
Yeah.
But you can't go to the club and find your wife. And if
No.
you did, congrats to you guys. I hope you guys are still
If you
staying
did, your
together.
name's T-Pain.
Yeah.
Because you found the bartender.
Or Jasmine.
or Jasmine. But
Close
yeah,
this out.
let's get out of here, guys. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. Let us know if you guys like the Voltage Forum hats. I super like them.
I love them.
Don't forget to like this video and to tell us how much you like us. You know, we want to know. We know that we're super likable guys.
We want to be your friends.
We want to be your friends. You know, if you're looking for a good friend, we're open. We're available. You know, I have some availability, some openings. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much, and peace.